What's your name?
Anina.
Jesse. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. What would you say is like your favorite thing about your job and what you do?
I am a facilities manager, so every single day is different for myself and my team. I have a team of 8 highly motivated individuals who get to essentially do everything they can to solve every single problem every single day. They get a chance to be the hero every time we're called. We are called to fight fires every single day, not legit fires, but issues or problems that others can't solve. And so the nice thing is on a day-to-day basis, every single thing that could or might go wrong inside a building or around a building with any type of equipment, my team is called to make sure it gets back online as fast as possible.
And like just community in general, like what's your favorite thing about like here in Racine?
I love the impact of what we can do if we put our hearts and our minds together. If we have a common goal and we want to implement something, the resources are unlimited. The relationships that you build as you get older, you'll start to understand how important how you treated somebody 20 years ago, 25 years ago, 10 years ago at the grocery store, the gas station. As you start to stack those relationships and those wins and your consistency, people will start to naturally gravitate towards positive things that you want to be involved with. And then eventually you'll be able to reach out to your network to be able to do things that you thought at one point might be a pipe dream, and now you just make it happen.
And like, how important do you think like community centers and like just community spots are?
Extremely. So this is a safe haven for everybody on this side of town, and it has been for decades. For years before Karan Butler was here, there were other Karan Butlers. There were other individuals from our community who needed a space to go, to feel like they're part of a family, to have a safe space for them to pour themselves into something positive, to keep them away from any distractions, and hopefully build lifelong relationships, not just with their friends that were at the centers, but the individuals who run the centers, the volunteers, the people who have the events at the centers that aren't even necessarily a part of the center. Each center builds its own community in its own part of town, and the beautiful part about that is you could be from any side of town, go to any center, and hopefully enjoy yourself to the same level at, if you live on the north side, you usually go to the Doug, but the Doug is closed today. Now you can go to the Bryant Center, or you can go to the Bray, or you can go out to Mount Pleasant or Caledonia or wherever and be a part of something that, hey, I want to go shoot some hoops. You show up, that's already built in, right? Or if you're super young and you're at your grandma's house and your grandma lives on this side of town and they have a playground there, this is the place you know that you can go to spend your time and create those core memories. It's invaluable.
What would you say is the biggest accomplishment in your career so far?
The greatest accomplishment in my career would be essentially building enough skills to be accepted into a manager role without having a degree in college. Initially, it was one of the biggest hurdles that I would come across when trying to move up the ladder, was there was a ceiling that was essentially like, you will not be able to progress past this point without a degree. Now in 2026, they'll accept military experience in lieu of a college degree. Thankfully, I was in the military. I was deployed overseas, and that experience plus my work experience has essentially allowed me to be greenlit to become a part of a management team and lead a team of individuals without the college degree that some would have considered non-negotiable even 10 years ago.
What would you say is the most important thing you have learned so far?
In my 45 years of life, how important relationships are and consistency. So consistency for me, right? Making sure that you just met me today, right? And you don't know me from Adam. But if you were to see me outside of here with my children down at North Beach, I'm the same guy that if you were to see at a basketball game at St. Cat's versus Lutheran or at the grocery store, right? That consistency over the course of 45 years is extremely invaluable because I'm not code switching. I'm not acting as if I'm one way when I'm among this group of people and another way on social media or in person or at my job. I am Jesse, right? Unapologetically everywhere you see me at, and that is important. But what's also important for me is I live in a world of zero expectations. And that's for everybody but my wife and my children and my direct reports at my job. And what I mean by that is I'm never let down, ever, because I'm not expecting anything from anybody. Having improper expectations for people throughout your life, and as you grow older, you'll get let down by things that are outside of your control. I really wanted to do this. I can't believe that this person would act that way. Zero expectations for me is the best way to live because I am never let down. If this opportunity falls through for whatever reason, I just work hard on the next opportunity. As far as my career goes, as far as anything and everything, right? Zero expectations for me is like the most stress-free way to go about my day.
How do you support or give back to your community?
I try to do my best to lead by example for my 4 children and then involve my community in ways to make a difference. And again, because we just met, you probably have never heard of Santa Does Exist. I've been doing that for a decade in this community. We've raised over $100,000 for families in need by way of this community. I have families that have received gift cards at Christmas that were not expecting to be able to put a present under their tree by way of other individuals in our community who care. 100% of the proceeds that we've raised over the course of a decade have gone directly back to the families in our very community. I've had businesses partner, donate $2,500. That takes care of 10 families in the holidays, right? To me, it's important for me to be able to have that impact and use my platform to make a difference in my community. But it's also important for me to show my children that anything is possible. And like I talked about in the beginning, those relationships were so crucial to where the first year I put this out there, people don't know that they can necessarily trust this, right? Like oh, hey guys, I want to take some of your money and I'm going to give it to families that you don't know. Imagine like the hesitation, like, maybe I'm not too sure. I know Jesse, but who knows what he's going to do with the money. So we raised $750 over the course of one campaign in the first year. And now we have surpassed $100,000 by way of the consistency, relationships, transparency. Those things are super important. Giving back to the community is something that I pride myself on because I care. And I think at this point, over the course of the past 25 years since high school, I think people know that I care. And so now I'm called upon to be a part of events that I'm not in charge of just because of the energy that I'll bring to said event. Not because I come with some entourage. I'm just me. I don't work for a company that needs to be paid appropriately. I don't have my own cameraman or videographer. When people invite me to something, they know that I'm going to bring an energy and I'm going to pour myself into said event. And that's why I'm involved at this point, because people know by way of, you can check the history and the timeline and see, okay, this guy, he does care, right? And so that is something that's super important to me as well. And so like Racine's Got Talent, and you're probably looking for short answers, so I apologize. But yeah, so like there are a lot of things that I've poured myself into and I care about the community about, and I could give you a laundry list. I could read through my LinkedIn page to give you that information. But no, there are just things like Santa Does Exist, Racine's Got Talent, that I'm super passionate about because I want to provide opportunities like this center is doing for you and like this movie is doing for you. Provide those opportunities to the kids who haven't necessarily had that opportunity to see what else is out there.
How have community centers impacted you?
I personally lived in Mount Pleasant by Case High School, so I didn't have a community center. But my children have benefited greatly from community centers. So my son Reese plays basketball at the Doug all the time. So we live on the north side now. That is the closest center to us. But the Bryant Center was the host of Put the Guns Down. For me, it was a massive community engagement thing that I was an avid supporter of. I'm sad that that no longer exists right now. I definitely believe that that could come back. But I've been to the Bray. I went to school at Walden, so it was very well of the Bray. I've been to the Bray after school and on the weekends. But myself, I was more of a football player. I dabble in basketball, but not really good, right? But so where I grew up over by Case High School, didn't have a center, but we had plenty of grass to where the neighborhood, right? Same thought process without the building. The neighborhood would all go to these open areas to play football, home run derby, bike tag, whatever we could do. When the neighborhood showed up, we had that community that I talked about that was super important to making sure that we could come together, everybody from every different street in that little area, and all be here and be one group of kids and I was one of the oldest, but senior year of high school all the way down to elementary school. That was important to me then. I'm an only child though. So those are my brothers and sisters. Their parents were my parents.
So, what is something people assume about you that is just completely not true?
I couldn't tell you. I know that I'm a lot. And what I mean by that is like I'm an extreme extrovert, and I think that can rub some people the wrong way. And I don't think that that's personal, right? I have 4 children. They're all very different, right? Some are a lot like me in some ways, and some have picked up things and operate differently other ways. As far as what somebody would assume about me, I'm not sure. I think that I have dealt with situations to where people feel like I'm not genuine. And to be fair, I don't let it bother me. I can't, right? I can't listen to the naysayers or the rumors because like I'm focused on so many bigger things that I'm not going to pay any attention to any negative whatever that may be said about me. But I couldn't specifically call out a thing that people think about me. I haven't been made aware of anything that I need to set the record straight on, if that makes sense.
What's a certain point in like your time of living that you would go back to and just start over from there?
I think it would be cool to travel back to my junior year before I moved in with my mom to truly talk to myself about if college is the right choice. So I went to Oshkosh for 1 year and I failed out, and I came home and felt some type of way about that. At first I was devastated, but then like this was this was the result of my actions, right? If you don't go to class, you don't get to continue your collegiate career. At that time, that was what I was supposed to do. And I didn't have much direction. Again, an only child. I was a latchkey kid. I moved in with my mom to try and prep myself for college, but I didn't necessarily care about the educational standpoint. It would be nice. And so thankfully, it didn't break me financially because I was in the military, so that paid for most of that. It was an invaluable lesson because it taught me the repercussions of my actions, right? And so high school is a breeze. So I wasn't in any advanced classes, by the way. Advanced classes is completely different, but you just show up in high school, you do the work, you had decent grades, right? Able to go to Oshkosh, never show up. I'm essentially the opposite of what I was in high school, and bomb the tests because I didn't know any of the content. And so I struggled with that. I struggled with that failure. That was like my first exposure to legitimate failure based on the decisions that I was making. I think having a very real conversation with myself like I've had with my children about their future is super important. And I don't know that it would have changed the trajectory of where I am today, but it probably would have been eye-opening to figure out, do you really want this? Do you really want to be in radio, TV, and film? That's what I went to college for. But I wasn't willing to do the work necessary to gain the education to essentially end up where I thought I wanted to be at 18 years old.
After your struggle from Oshkosh, what was a turning point that made it better for you?
I was deployed in 2003. So I failed out 2001. I came home. I'm working a dead-end job. I don't have any direction. I'm making money, right? Like I'm contributing to society, but zero direction. But in 2003, after 9/11 happened, which was far before you were born, right? We get a call that says we're being mobilized to Fort McCoy. And so my family was shocked. And so I was med supply. I wasn't on the front lines. I wasn't infantry. I wasn't special forces. I was just a soldier, right? But the reality of, snap, I'm gonna keep it PG, we have to go to war was very real, right? And so now I'm a part of an Army Reserve unit that has 32 people, and we are all being stripped from our normal day-to-day lives. I worked at a college campus in Minnesota scooping ice cream, and I worked at UPS as an unloader. And now I have to go to war with a bunch of people. Imagine everybody in this room getting handed an M16 or a 9mm if you suck with your M16, and you're going to Kuwait, and you may have to go into Iraq. Imagine what the thought process would be behind that. So that was eye-opening. I had to grow up real fast and understand that this world is much bigger than just Racine, Oshkosh, Minneapolis. I was in Dinkytown at the time, right? This is the purpose that I'm supposed to serve, right? Now I'm a soldier overseas with 30 people that I would consider friends, but it was like, oh my gosh, I don't know what's going to happen next. But that helped me grow up real fast. The military helped me a lot, prepare me for life outside of being a young man.
How did you motivate yourself, and how did you keep your mindset calm during those times? when you deployed?
So thankfully I was not on the front line. So I want to be very clear, right? Never pulled the trigger, came home with everybody I was deployed with. But there's comfort in building the relationships with the individuals that I was only seeing on the weekends to actually identify, like, okay, if this does go south, if the crap does hit the fan, I know who I need to be with. And these relationships are like this, right? Like they were called battle buddies. That's my battle buddy, right? Like, so, and I could get into like long dialogue about all of that. But the reality was, okay, if things go south, we got to be on the same page. We're the ones with the M16s, right? Like, make sure we got our full battle rattle and everything is cocked, locked, and ready to rock. And if we do have to go into soldier mode, hey, we need to have each other's back. And then coming home, though, those relationships were tighter than the relationships that I had had with people for a decade plus. That's a different type of experience, riding on a Humvee through Iraq with your bottled water hanging on the rear view mirror, trying to cool it off, but it's boiling anyway. And that's the only way to get a refreshing drink between your MREs, or when you're going to Baghdad International Airport, then going back to Camp Arif John. And again, I don't want there to be any confusion. I was not kicking indoors, but just the fact that it could happen at any moment, making sure that I had that relationship with my battle buddies and my people from the 482nd Medlog Detachment, that was super important. And then taking those qualities of those individuals and understanding when I come home, who are the people I can lean on now? Who are the individuals that I know no matter what, I can call on this person and I know they're going to be here for me, but at the same time, making sure that I'm there for the people that need me.
How was growing up in Racine for you?
Simple. Again, I grew up by Case High School. We called it Mount Trashmore on Prairie Drive, right? So my growing up in Racine was amazing. I went to Westridge, then I went to Walden. Then I got kicked out of Walden because I was a knucklehead, just doing silly stuff, not like super crazy stuff. Went to Starbuck. From Starbuck, went to Case High School, lived by Case High School. So awesome. Grew up in an awesome neighborhood with a bunch of great kids that their families embraced me, and I had zero complaints.
So like during that time point, what was like the highlight of your childhood years? Like what would you like nowadays, what do you look back at and like that was a good time?
In the neighborhood, the relationships I built with my friends there. Again, so from just being neighbors to going to school together to playing sports together at the high school level to running track, making it to state with one of my best friends who lived down the street with me. The relationships and friendships I built with the individuals that live in those streets have lasted a lifetime now. And this is from kick the can, ghosts in the graveyard, right? Like things like that. And now I'm 45 years old and I have those friends that I grew up with, Prairie Drive, Wheezy Lane, right? Like, so all those little streets back there, if you're near Case High School, if you've ever driven back there, there's only one way in really, or two ways in and two ways out. That street that goes to Case didn't even exist initially. That's new. That goes out into Oaks Road, right? But that little clique of those friends there, like all of those memories are invaluable to me. Just, again, growing up, watching now my friends have their own families and babies and looking at my friends' younger siblings who I still see as babies, but no, this is a 30-something-year-old woman who has her own baby. But to me, those, like, it was cool being the older brother, the individual who tried to keep kids away from the negativity. And I guess, like, I embraced that role my entire childhood and then growing up to being a young adult and then a full-grown man.
So if you were to describe yourself in 3 words, what would those 3 words be?
That's a good question. 3 words to describe myself: consistent, reliable, caring.
So what advice would you give me if I wanted to achieve my dreams of whatever? What advice would you give me if I wanted to achieve a dream or like improve myself?
Pour yourself into it and only do it for yourself. And understand that, how old are you?
14.
14 years old. Whatever dreams you have today, pouring yourself into whatever it is, like giving your all to that, you will build skills that you can take with you to the next dream and then the next dream, right? So I wanted to be an NFL football player at your age. So I poured myself into the team, to the game, to the camaraderie. And when it was very apparent that I was not going to make it to the NFL, all the team building that I had done through that, and the leadership and the understanding of the big picture, not just I'm a receiver, but what does the offense look like? Knowing the role of the other individuals on the team was crucial and still applies to this day. Then I wanted to be a rapper, right? So then believe it or not, the music videos are out there, right? Pouring myself into wanting to be an MC. All of those skills are transferable. Whatever it is that you love, man, pour yourself into that and block out the noise and give your all to that. And if that falls apart, understand that there are other opportunities. And as you grow and as you start to prioritize what it is that you love, take the good and learn the lessons from the tough situations and continue to stack all of that knowledge and continue to build that skill set, because whatever it is that you love, you can apply those skills from if you wanted to be a videographer, the editing, all of that matters. The audio, all of that matters. The presence, all of that matters. Understanding how this whole operationship works, this matters. At 14 years old, you are so far ahead of where I was at 14 years old. Being here today, regardless of what job it is that you want from this, pour yourself into that, but also learn every other piece of the puzzle, because that skill is invaluable. That knowledge is invaluable. Good to see you.
Yeah, nice to see you too. So my first question is, who are some players you think will be like either like breakout or like good this year, like in football?
This year?
Yeah.
Names to watch for that you don't already know?
Or you think we'll just have like a very good season?
I think Jackson at Case is going to have an incredible season. Playmaker. I'm excited to see him. See, what you're doing is you're putting me in a position to piss off a lot of people.
No, that's not what I'm going for.
The way they're going to spin it is, how come he didn't say me? Why did he say a Bradford kid? Right? That's
just wait for these questions later.
That's the pushback I'm going to get. Okay, so Rosales at Bradford is going to have an incredible season.
Okay,
I'm super excited for him. He's got unlimited weaponry. On the defensive side, London Hadley is going to be probably the single most dominant defensive player you've ever seen in your life. I would encourage anybody who likes football to go watch London Hadley at one game and watch him bully the entire offensive line of whoever he's playing against. So he's already a household name. Amari King is one of my favorite players to watch the defensive backfield. I would love to know what Park player, so I feel bad because I'm not sure. Somebody from Park is going to shine, and I'm excited to see that happen. That program is going to turn itself around, but I think from Lorenz Pratt at Bradford is going to have an incredible season. I'd love to see Charlie Quapple have an incredible season. So I'm sorry, right? I could talk football all day long. They're giving me like 25 seconds per question. So if I missed you, blame my heart and not my mind, or whatever. However that.
All right. Now we got the big question.
Yeah.
Who will win Case versus Bradford?
Case. By 14.
By
14.
Okay.
And it might be by 3 touchdowns.
And why do you believe? Why do you think?
Trenches. London Hadley. So the D line for Case is going to be unblockable, man.
Okay.
And I don't care how you spin it. So Bradford has all the weaponry, and I wish them the best. Case is built in the SEC the way the teams are built that unfortunately overwhelm Case once the playoffs come.
Yeah.
Second round. So in the trenches is where the game will be won every single week in the SEC. And Case, to me, has the best O-line and D-line. Be offended and prove me wrong.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think the line will be a problem. But I think offense-wise, Bradford, I don't know, they have some pretty good weapons.
I think they have more shiny toys.
Yeah.
I think that people are they're not wrong to be very excited about what that offense will look like against subpar defensive lines. The issue is going to be when Rosales, who I believe is an incredible quarterback, has pressure in his lap right now. Yeah. Troy and Steve are going to put together a scheme on offense for Bradford that's going to be impressive and probably take a lot of that away, but I see Case winning both those matchups.
Yeah, I think I got Case too. I think so. And then my next question is, do you have any like, or how important do you believe relationships are for entrepreneurs trying to get to the next?
100%. Single most important,
Mhm.
right? So, like, if you're an entrepreneur that wants to knock on people's doors and ask for angel investments, or right, have you ever watched Shark Tank?
Yeah.
You either got to have the greatest idea ever, or you got to know people who care about you to invest in you, and they don't care what you're doing. The reason why things that I've been tied to have been successful, Racine's Got Talent for one, and Santa Does Exist for two. Most of those people who help to make Racine's Got Talent what it is don't even show up.
Mhm.
Why are they investing in that? Because they see how much I care about it. That relationship matters more than anything else. Same thing with Santa Does Exist. A lot of those people probably don't even believe in Santa. But they're just like, I want to help the community, and you are the conduit. You are the vessel. So
How excited are you for Shoops Park?
very, yes. check my reels. Yeah. Hey, so what's really cool though, so this is crazy, and this is a sidebar, but the fact that Craig Leopold and Helen Johnson know who I am as just a dad, like a 45-year-old bald dad who's a facilities manager, the fact that they knew who I am by the way of my social media is crazy.
And then my last question is, do you and Mr. Malkar have music?
No. So no, but his producer name was Dylan Thomas, and he was a hell of a producer.
Yeah.
And so Mr. Wood actually has an album called Black Hand. So if you've never heard that,
I have
talk
not,
to
but
Mr.
Paulo is a good buddy of mine.
Yes.
I have to see if I can hear that.
Talk to Mr. Wood about Black Hand and see. And so Mr. Tuttle was actually an incredible rapper as well.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes. Yes.
No way.
Absolutely.
No way.
Yep.
Wow. Hey, well, that was on my
If you dig far enough on the internet, you'll find some stuff.
Mr. Tuttle, the rapper.
Yes.
And it was nice talking.
Yes,
That was
as well. Thank you very much.
Who would you say is the best overall athlete out of all Racine?
The best overall athlete out of all Racine, Bryce Austin. Hands down.
What got you so invested in high school sports?
I have 4 children who all grew up with these classes. So that's what's really special for me. So my daughter graduated now 2 years ago. Rocco, my son, just graduated. So like what's really incredible about this time right now, this era, is how many exceptional athletes, and that doesn't take away from any of the individuals who are great in the classroom as well, but the amount of milestones that we've seen, all-time records, school records, Racine County records, these are all happening right now. And to be on the front line, to be able to capture that and witness that is special. And it's something that, how old are you?
15.
All right, so you're 15 years old. This is just normal to you. When Racine hits a lull and this isn't happening anymore, 10 years from now, you'll be like, man, like, did you get to go see any of the St. Cat's Lutheran games?
I don't think I went to any of them.
Oh, so that's a darn shame, because you will not see something like that again for quite some time, probably. You missed, because it's just normal. You missed some of the most incredible just competition that I have seen with my adult eyes over the course of many, many years. So I'm invested because these kids are my kids' ages. I've seen them ever since they were in elementary school, middle school, high school. It's just really cool.
Which athlete had the best high school career?
The most decorated high school career from an athlete that I can remember, probably, that's tough. So Lamont Hamilton is a dual state champion, basketball and football. So is E.J. Vinson, right? Lamont set several records, all-time high school records. So probably Lamont Hamilton, but I would also give a nod to Carson Fletcher as one of the most impressive high school athletes I've ever seen from this area. Carson Fletcher is now in college, Lamont going to college, both competing at a high level. Super impressive to see. I apologize to any other athlete that was also incredible during this time that was not mentioned. Those two pop into my head immediately.
Where could we find what you've been up to in your social media?
So on Facebook, my name is Jesse Booker, JesseboOker. On Twitter and IG, it's just at JNovel, JayNovel. And you can find me at the Piggly Wiggly on 3 Mile and Erie pretty much every single day, grocery shopping for my family.
I download that from there. Nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you as well.